let's talk about sports and TV. We talked earlier about kind of what it costs to watch the NFL, but the streaming revolution of all of this, with all the carriage, I think matters a big way. And we've seen that some of these teams, and you kind of hinted at the idea that, hey man, we're returning to cable in some ways with all these bundles. Here's another bundle that is happening, as ESPN put out a little bit of a press release about a new venture called Venu Sports, VENU Sports. What it is supposedly, and I'm reading via the press release, the innovative future of streaming platform being built through the joint venture created by ESPN between Fox, ESPN, Warner Brothers Discovery. So it's going to bring stuff from like ESPN Plus, kind of that Max Turner Sports thing that they're doing, and Fox. And so it's going to be one app that brings in, or one subscription, I guess, that brings in all of that stuff. Basically, they're consolidating this stuff into one place. Does the Venu Sports streaming service, is that something that sounds interesting to you, as it's a place that's kind of consolidating some of the sports that these places have?
I mean, that would be nice, man, if I didn't have to guess which app was on to watch a game. It's literally a guessing. I'm like, is this one on YouTube TV? Oh, maybe this one's on Hulu. Maybe it's on Amazon Prime. Maybe it's on the new Netflix live special.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just on my phone. Like, all of these, it's just become too confusing. And I say this, Reggie, I think this is kind of important to say. It's confusing to me and you who are on our phones or on media and understand it to a pretty high degree.
I will say, I'm not confused. It's a little extra work, though. Like, I gotta go and see, all right, but where is this?
Like,
and now...
I wouldn't say confused, but it's just a little extra work. Think about people who are 60, 70. They just want to watch the game, and they're like, how do I do this?
Right.
Like, and do you know how many times I've had to call my grandma and to try to walk her through steps? So this is how you get the game on. She's like, why don't Channel 8? Why?
Yeah, right. Which channel is it on? Well, Grandma, you remember that tablet we got you? Can you open that up? It's a new app in there. Actually, you got to update the app. The app is not updated. Go into your app store first.
You actually have apps on your TV now. You have to.
Oh, don't do that. Granny not doing all that. Is it a button? Is it a button on the TV?
They're on my TV, baby. What do you mean?
But yeah, no. I think that's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how much people utilize that, because, again, if you're in on some of these sports, you just come along and do this. And I understand 817 on the text line says, it's a pirate's life for me, I ain't paying. And I can't necessarily begrudge you that, but I mean, there's a lot of folks that are just like, I'm okay with paying, but it's got to be easier for me. And so it seems like ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers are trying to make that easier. But I think I have been intrigued by the willingness that they've had to do this, because it feels like it says something about the ability to make all of these other things go individually. Like, I don't think you bundle up just because, like, for the good of this. If you
just for the good of the people,
right? It feels like that might say something about how viable the streaming portion of this is right now, as currently constituted in the sports world.
I think it has become so niche and everything, so it's so menu based now. You can just, I just want to watch this on this little channel. I just want to watch
a la carte for sure. I feel you.
A la carte, just do that. And now it's like, hey, you're going to the restaurant. This is what we got. This is what's on the menu. You're going to have to deal with it. So I personally would be a fan of this and not have to go to 20 different apps to find the team. But
at least when it comes to stuff that would be on Fox, ESPN, or Turner, which Turner might be losing some of that stuff. They do have NHL, obviously, as we're watching currently an NHL game on there, and we'll be watching another one here shortly. But they might be losing the NBA. Like, the NBA, obviously, the new TV deal, that's been a big thing that's been talking about, but they might be losing the NBA. And with that, inside the NBA is no longer necessary. We know Ernie Johnson is going to stay with Turner, and I know that Charles Barkley's kind of talked about, he's kind of eulogizing it without eulogizing it out loud, because he's talked about how it seems like people around there are nervous. NBC getting the deal would be cool, but how much are you personally going to miss inside the NBA, which has very clearly been the best studio show, the most entertaining studio show that we've had in sports?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Reggie. You don't have much more to add. It is the best studio show. It has got great personalities. I do not go there to inform myself further on basketball knowledge.
Because it's not going to help you out, baby.
But when it comes to pure entertainment and four guys just enjoying each other's company, there's nothing much better on live TV.
And not only that, but the players themselves enjoy TNT show. I mean, just Luka just the other night was saying that he watches it and that he enjoys it. And, you know, the whatever Charles Barkley says is going to make the headlines, and it also reaches the players. I mean, just, I don't know. It's just not going to be the same.
This is the one thing I will say. I'm kind of excited for the possibility of NBC doing this, and I know people have talked about just, hey, try and port it over, right? Just try and, even if Ernie isn't there, have another host in the middle and just try. Maybe it doesn't work because Ernie is very good at his job and has that rapport with those guys, but try, especially if you can get those guys to want to buy in. I'm interested, though. One of my issues with Inside the NBA that I've had for a long time, this is not me, kicking anybody while they're down or anything. I think that them, along with other places, I don't think that they're alone with this, but again, when you're the biggest, you carry this weight. They end up being, as a partner of the NBA, mind you, right? Because they're a broadcast partner. They're largely negative towards the game compared to positive. Think of any other broadcast partner that downs their sport as much as Inside the NBA. And I mean, a lot of other NBA talkers do. It doesn't happen. And so
officially partnered. Yeah.
I feel like it would be interesting to see if, and maybe this just isn't going to happen. And maybe that's part of the appeal for some folks, but I'm interested if NBC does in fact end up getting the NBA, if they can find a way to do something similar while also like leaning into the love of the game. Because I think for a lot of people, that's why you're here for the sport, and having the smart people that you turn to listen to reflect that kind of emotion is usually a good thing. I don't think it's good for basketball that it feels like a lot of the big talking heads on it talk down about it a lot.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. Maybe they should go full YouTube, just full podcast route with Inside the NBA, inside the YouTube.
I feel like they got enough money. A lot of those dudes got enough money that they could chill. They don't really necessarily.
And maybe they're at that point too. Maybe they're just ready to chill.
Charles Barkley talked about getting out of the game a long time before, and they convinced him to stay in the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is just an easy out for him. For he's like, all right, I'm gonna go and just be a charismatic rich person now, which I'm sure he's gonna be great at as well. And then Shaq got like 17,000 jobs. I don't think he's hurting for money.
He's gonna go DJ.
That's right.
What about Kenny?
Kenny's cool. Kenny was there first, if I remember correctly. Or was he? Yeah, he was there first.
He was definitely there before Shaq.
He's been there a long time. Actually, I don't think he was there before Chuck, though. That's the thing I was trying to remember. Regardless, it's gonna be sad if it goes, but I do think that there's opportunities to do really cool things in that space. But yeah, those are some of the things that are happening in sports TV. Check out, I guess, Venue Sports. I'm interested to see what that actually looks like, what that's actually going to provide especially for those of us that already have some level of streaming service, like we're already getting a lot of that stuff from.